Real estate prices are bouncing around. Where is the San Jose real estate market headed? Well, stay tuned as we look at the actual data and charts through September 30th, 2021. All right, I want you to stay to the end of this video because we're going to talk about interest rates and the condo and townhome market, which is a little bit different from the single family home market. And if you're looking to jump into the market for your first time, probably going to be at a price point where condos and townhomes are. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Santa Clara County single family market to get an overview of the last 21 years and how the market looks. If you look at this dotted line here at the bottom, you see that our inventory, the yellow line, is extremely low relative to the last 21 years. But in the red box is the number of sales. And you see that is actually up quite a bit from the recent years and more than recent years. So again, we have really low supply and very high demand. But we are seeing a little bit of a seasonal slow, which is expected this time of year. So how's the market in San Jose specifically? Well, if you look here, narrowing down that Santa Clara County data to San Jose, you see the inventory still is also very low and sales are quite strong, not as a little bit higher than 2020, but quite a bit higher than the last couple years. But, you know, there were some years here, looks like 2015, 2016, we might have had similar type sales. But we're having multiple offers still selling about 8% over, which is great demand, obviously. Very limited options. The supply is low and buyers are getting frustrated. And I expect that supply is going to stay low through 2021 because of the season. And the demand is going to slow as well because of the season. And I expect less offers to be coming for each property. Here's the closed stats. We're actually down 3.3% on the average price for San Jose from last month, but up 12.6% year over year. So pretty strong, good appreciation. And the sales have slowed down a little bit year over year as well as month to month. So September, the key takeaways is that the days of inventory is still extremely low, pointing to a strong seller's market. 17 days of inventory, not much at all. So the days of inventory is quite low at just 17 days. That is showing we are still in a very strong seller's market, and pending sales are up again, which is quite odd for this time of year to see people jumping into contract in September, but they're probably trying to close it off in October, November before the holidays begin. So it's probably our last push for the year. Now inventory continues to drop at 13% below from the year before, but like I mentioned in the previous slide, 8% over asking price. So still really good demand on properties. 71% of homes are in contract, which is up from 67% the year before. So, people put their house on sale and things are getting in contract really quickly. So what's my forecast for the market? I think the demand will continue to drop in 2021 and then pick up again in 2022. There's just not much supply, and I don't expect that to change again throughout the rest of this year. Hopefully in the spring we see more supply. I do expect prices to increase again in January and February. As you've looked here, they've kind of been slowly calming down, which is pretty typical for the fall season to see a little slight appreciation or depreciation in prices. Now the experts' opinions average about 5% appreciation for 2022. So it's still going to be a good market in 2022. If you're thinking about buying, you better get in before those interest rates go up and before house values go up even more. So interest rates. There's been a little bit of an increase already. We're averaging just over 3%, which is still excellent as far as historical numbers go. You see here on the right. And the S&P 500 actually saw a little bit of a drop, so it's probably going to also factor into prices tempering this fall. And now our unemployment rate continues to drop to 4.9%. So now let's dig into the condo market. Condo market's a little bit different animal with 27 days of inventory. And that's just because we have a lot more supply relative to the demand. Supply has been really steady throughout this year, and demand had has been overall much higher. You see these green lines, much higher than previous years, but inventory has also been pretty decent. So just not moving quite as fast in the condo and townhome market. Inventory is up 5.6%. The percent is 3.4% over asking is what's happening on average. And the average days on market for a property is 19 days. So much slower than what we're seeing in the single family market, which is closer to 11 days. So there's still a supply versus demand imbalance, just not quite as sharp and drastic as a single family. So it's still a good market, still technically a seller's market, but just not as intense. So when is the best time to buy a house? Check out my video on that because I think you really should look into that in detail for this time of year, hint, hint. And I have another great video I just posted about not doing something correctly when buying a house that could end up being bad. You might want to check out that video too. Thanks for watching.
At Homeowner Experience Real Estate, we are not your typical real estate agency. Our detailed market watch, step-by-step processes, and technical backgrounds help our team support your unique Silicon Valley real estate needs. Our business philosophy is to provide step-by-step guidance and empower you to make informed, fact-based decisions. We have proven to be experts at modern digital marketing. Call today for an initial consultation or visit our free reports page for resources, videos, and market updates. Experience the difference with our local market expertise.